Привет из Дубая. С вами передача «Голубь мира», где обсуждаем крутые навыки. Спрашиваем на английском, отвечаем на русском. Подтягивайте язык или смотрите перевод в тайм-кодах. Let's talk about this information and let's start with the definition.
Disinformation, when you have something true, you will fold it in something unusual and you will make it like a hidden treasure to everyone, and you will tell something which is wrong. You make it because of your enemy, you make it because of your strategy, but it is quite common. A lot of unicorns, a lot of startups, they use this information when they give information to the press, to the investors, to the other shareholders. The main reason is to attract more money, to show themselves as rich, as very perspective, but sometimes it is not true.
What are the components of this information that actually would make this piece of the false information legit so that other people could believe in it? So what are the fundamentals and the building parts of it?
First building part, it's a head. If you had a head of the fish and it is looks like a fish and behave like a fish, everyone would think that it is a fish. So you will just give to this head of the fish, for example, body of the monkey, and you will say, this is a very unusual fish. Second, when you have this information, you should make it portionally. There is a saying or term which name is window of overtone. First view of something is very strange, but you are trying to move it swiftly, and you just saying, yes, it could be. Yes, I am pretty sure. Then you will say, yes, it is true. And if you will make this very smooth, everyone will think maybe it is possible. For example, when we talk about is it possible to eat people, for the very first time, everyone was denying it is not possible to eat people. But you will say, come on, let's think we have an inhabited island, and there are several sailors which was broke their ship, and they will sit on the island without any food. Maybe it is better to eat one person who was killed by the sun or by some animals, because it is protein. And everyone would think, yes, okay, in this case it's quite possible. And in 3 or 4 steps, everyone will think, yes, there are a lot of cases when we could eat even ourselves. For example, in the space there are not many food or no food at all. Why not to eat people who will die? And the third thing about this information, this is the aim. You want to everyone believe in your disinformation, so you should have a lot of complex sayings, movement, and evidence to make it looks like broken glass, like a kaleidoscope. You will show in this curve miracle mirror not the exact truth, but the light of it.
So it seems like if you want to pass the piece of the so-called like a false information, you not only need to prepare it itself, but also need to think of the stage or maybe some sort of the decoration or maybe even the audience itself, like who exactly, how, when, and what you will be presenting. But when it comes to the different levels or maybe different dimensions of the disinformation, what are they? For example, like what they might be in terms of the scalability, length, depth, or any other things that we could think about.
When we talk about multi-dimension in which we'll place this information, first dimension, it would be maybe how many people were involved to create this information. Sometimes it's only you, so you make it by yourself. Sometimes you make it with a team, like 5, 10, or 20 people. Sometimes you will make it with huge crowd, and you will sell them piece by piece, the huge piece of disinformation. Second is time. You can make it fast, you can make it slow, but in any case, you should develop your disinformation from the seed, from the scratch, to the huge building, to the huge elephant. And third dimension, it would be public belief. First, you should destroy everyone's brains, and you should make it like трещина.
A crack.
you should make it like a crack. So you just think that everyone's head like a nut, and you should crack it for little pieces, for small parts. And for the very first time, everyone would think, no, it couldn't be, it's impossible, it's totally unbelievable. But you will make this noises, you will make these cracks, you will make this hits, and suddenly everyone would привыкнуть.
Used to.
Used to, yes. And everyone would used to this information, and they will think, yes, maybe there are some reptiloids or some aliens amongst us, and maybe they are trying to destroy our civilization.
And what about people's brain when it's actually, they get a certain piece of information, they probably already might be willing to accept more. So even if they see some sort of like a red flags, they still might be trying to deny it and try to build a picture of something that doesn't exist. So my question is like, how to actually try to think of building, giving a certain piece of the information, which by being received by other people will help them to build the rest of the picture without any of the efforts.
You should find the people which would be involved by their good faith. They want to believe in it. For example, we live with you, Maxim, in small area, and suddenly we will find the tracks of Yeti, and we will think it's good for us. If there is any Yeti, we will have a lot of tourists, we will have a lot of photos, we will have a lot of Instagram events, and we would be rich. We would sell, for example, some soft drinks, some cakes, some coffee. Yes, it's quite good for us. Second, we should find people with very slow brains and with lazy brains. They will just think that they are избранные,
Chosen one.
they chosen one. Yes, we are lucky to live here, and it is like a prize from the God. Finally, we have this Loch Ness, this creature in our lake. This is because we have been offended by some peoples long ago, but now we have our prize. And third, when you're dealing with this information, everyone would think, what is it for me? What I personally will get from this information. And for example, if you will say that some women in our village are having some power to restore a memory, to make people healthy, I will think, okay, it's also money. This money doesn't smell.
And when it comes to actually making different mistakes when trying to disinform people or trying not to be disinformed, what are they? Because, and I'm asking this question because I think it also might be interesting to look at it from the viewpoints of such gorillas who trying to, affect or invest into something secretly by providing, by using a different mechanic. So I would suggest to look into it like from a two different sides.
Okay, let's think I will come to you and say, Maxim, finally I found it. I found a map of the hidden treasure. It is by Pirate Morgan, and I just bought it in the nearest shop which trading with ancient things. Would you believe in this map of treasure? Maybe not. But if I will make this a bit complicated, and I will go with you with some hidden retreat in Amazon forests, and then we will find some voodoo people, and they will say, come on guys, you help us, I don't know, to restore our river or our bridge. They will give you the most sacrifice we could, and you will stay there for example for 4 months. You're already tired, you are beaten by the mosquitoes, and suddenly a lot of people, whole village will come to you, will show the respect, and will pass you this the same piece of paper or maybe laser. You probably will think, yes, maybe it's worth it, and you will get it. You know, there is anecdote in Russian language. I will try to translate. It was a short story, and there was a call to the plumber, and when plumber came to the house, suddenly a girl with beautiful face came to him and said, my father, after you repair our tubes, will give you some money, but refuse it. Ask him to take the small rusty nail. And plumber was thinking, okay, maybe it's magic trick. Okay, I will accept it. And after he was working for several days to fix these tubes, the father of this girl offered him some money, and he was excuses and saying, I would just take the small nasty nail. And with pity on his face, father of the girl give him this rusty nail and says to him farewell. And after they close the door, the girl and the father embrace each other and says, it was a good disinformation. This rusty nail cost nothing, but he would think it cost everything.
Well, this is a funny story indeed. So when it comes to using this information in a modern world, given that there is like a lot of noise, so what are the ways to resist, filter it, and actually trying to find the signals amongst all of the noises that we hear, see, or perceive?
It is not such a thing. Everyone thinking that he has a brain more efficient than average people, but no one wants to be an average people. And 80% of the people who think that they are above the average on the fact checking, they are making terrible mistake. For example, they believe in city myths. A lot of people in Moscow, in New York, they believe that there are some huge rats in subway, in underground stations. They're huge as wolves, and it's quite common. People believe in some black doctors who would send girls to drink with you, and then they will take out your kidney to sell it, and a lot of different stories. And this our life is very boring, and when you just talking with everyone about what's happening exactly with you several days ago, no one would listen. But if you will tell some story, maybe this is not of your own life, maybe the source was another person, usually it's taxi driver or cab driver, everyone would listen. So we like to have a children cartoon, fairy tale, and some myths.
And the last question will be how knowing about this information could help to make this world a better place.
You know, the answer would be really tough. When you're dealing with a small piece of information and you have under your command not too many people, you will say truth almost all the time. But when you have huge of people under your command, when you have a lot of sources of your power, you will bend the information. You will make it looking in another way, and suddenly you will find that percent by percent, gradus, degree by
Degree.
degree by degree, you will swift your head and you will look not at the truth but at the false. You will stand by the ground by two hands on the way to unlimited disinformation for all the time.
Меньше слушайте мифы, которые рассказывают вам водители такси. А мы рассмотрели навык дезинформация и чем он полезен именно вам. Всем мира.